Okay, let's get right into it. I need to tell you something you probably don't want to hear about how you actually make choices. Look, I'm kind of going to act as your reluctant enlightener today, mostly because this truth, it's absolutely necessary. Your worst decision is not behind you. It is still choosing for you. Let that sink in for a second. Because listen, the Great Mental Models Volume 1 is not about being smart. The Great Mental Models Volume 1 is definitely not about gathering more life hacks. And the Great Mental Models Volume 1 is not about just sounding strategic in your next meeting. No, the Great Mental Models Volume 1 is actually about the lens that picked before you did. That's the precision strike inside Shane Parrish and Rhiannon Bobbian's work here. You see, Shane Parrish and Rhiannon Bobbian aren't just handing you clever little labels to memorize. They are showing you exactly why a single unchecked lens can make an otherwise brilliant mind incredibly dangerous. And since this is an UpGoWise masterclass, our goal today is to literally use this practice. We're not just passively consuming a product here. Don't just collect the model, test the lens. So here's the real pressure point. You probably think a bad choice came from bad information, right? So what do? You hunt for more information. You stack up your notes, you wait around for certainty, and you proudly call that being disciplined. But the reality is, your old frame is already sorting the evidence. It inherently keeps what protects your past choices and actively rejects what threatens them. So what if the wrong choice isn't a lack of information at all, but a corrupted lens? Act 2. The belief that eats itself. We really need to systematically deconstruct these mental maps you currently trust so much. Because let's be honest, a habit can easily put on a lab coat and call itself objective truth, especially after surviving just one hard season. Just read this with me. I already think rationally. I just need more information before I choose. I know that voice. I hear it too. And that belief isn't foolish. It's the sincere, intimate voice of a highly capable professional. It's a voice that respects facts and hates rash moves. Honestly, I wish this weren't true. But look at where it leads. This book walks that exact belief right up to its absolute collapse. Because information does not save a bad frame. A map can get sharper and sharper, all while pointing at the completely wrong valley. You gather more facts, you feel more rational, but that old lens is sorting every single fact before you even perceive it. Just look at the dilemma you face. Option A, keep the old choice and call it loyalty. Option B, break the old choice and call yourself wasteful. Both of these options punish you. Both feel incredibly heavy. But here is the profound resolution we get from this book. Both are the exact same misunderstanding. You are literally letting a past cost vote in a present choice. You're completely trapped in sunk cost logic. Your old map has essentially become a membrane. Think of it biologically for a second. It's a cognitive filter under intense pressure. It happily lets matching facts in, and it aggressively keeps threatening facts out. It's defending itself rather than actually seeking the truth. We have to stop calling this noise a jury. The map is no longer showing you the territory, it's just protecting your identity. Act 3. The boundary that tells the truth. Let's take a slow breath here. We are reaching the conceptual peak of this book's architecture. We're stepping away from the noise and looking squarely at the borders of what you actually know. Competence has a border, not a throne. This is absolutely crucial to grasp. You solve one hard thing, right? The model earns your trust. Then that trust quietly becomes your identity. And then identity starts asking for tribute. You start believing that just because you are strong in one specific lane, your frame should rule everywhere. But a circle of competence is merely a border checkpoint. It warns us how incredibly quickly our hard-earned expertise hardens into a total distortion of reality. Listen, you do not need perfect certainty. You need model contrast. A mental model is simply a boundary. Wisdom is just knowing where that boundary lies. You have to actively rotate your lens before your choice hardens into cement. So how do we actually do that? By bringing in rival lenses. First principles: inversion, second-order thinking, probabilistic thinking, Occam's razor, Hanlon's razor. For example, when you apply Occam's razor, you stop inventing these complex, malicious conspiracies for why a project failed, and you just accept the simplest explanation, a lack of execution. Or take inversion. Instead of asking how to guarantee success, you ask what would absolutely guarantee failure, and you simply avoid those things. Now, none of these models are kings. You should treat them as controlled wounds in your certainty. They're basically designed to let air into a suffocating room. The best thinker isn't the one with the strongest frame. It's the one who can loosen their frame without losing their nerve. Act 4. The test that breaks loose. Okay, we're shifting from abstract philosophy to brutal practicality right now. Because all of this theory means literally nothing without direct contact with reality. Look at this question. Read it aloud to yourself. What would I see if my map were wrong? This is the sharp pivot. You have to break the loop of identity maintenance that is currently masquerading as prudence. When you ask if you have enough proof, you're really just comforting yourself. But when you ask what you would see if your map were completely wrong, that's when you finally step back into reality. And here is exactly how you force that contact. The 2-minute practice. Step 1. Name the decision. Step 2. Name the specific model you are using to justify it. Step 3. Name the model that would actively argue against it. And step 4. Ask what exact evidence would change your mind. If nothing would change your mind, stop right there. You aren't deciding anymore. You are just defending a sunk cost loop. Which brings us right back to where we started. A decision is not a verdict. It is a test with consequences. Your worst decision keeps choosing for you precisely because you keep asking it for the only map. You treat your first frame as a moral home, rather than what it actually is, a temporary, completely disposable tool.
Act 5. The lens you can change.
Take the pressure off your self-image for a minute. You aren't here to prove you're smart. You're here to build the conditions for cleaner contact with reality. This is where you take absolute control over your cognitive architecture. I want you to really let this sink in. The habit becomes a mechanism when you give it no rival lens. Small choices become the architecture of your life. They set the load-bearing beams inside your day. If you don't introduce a rival lens, the mechanism wins. Change the lens. Change the choice. That is exactly why we are here, to train for the moment before the frame completely owns you. Access your growth map. I am leaving you with this right now. 300 seconds. Choose one live decision you are facing at this very moment. Write down the rival model that opposes it, and write one disconfirming test that would prove you wrong. Are you actually seeking truth or just defending your history? Do exactly this. Without it, the cognitive signature of this book fades.